Hump day, leather day. How's everybody doing on a Wednesday afternoon? Cold winter Wednesday afternoon. It's a good day to work on leather. Even if you're at work, yeah, we got to pay the bills. Still, it's a good day to work on leather, right? We can work on some leather when we get home. I think that's one of the reasons leather crafters are so happy. We got something to look forward to at night other than 3 hours of mindless TV. Right? I was thinking about that the other night. Does anybody agree? We could. All right. As leather crafters, we're best craft going. Love it. Anyway, so an evening, get home from work, we eat, we clean up, and then we watch 3 hours of senseless television, right? Bombarded with commercials and ads. At the end of the evening, we don't remember one commercial, don't remember one TV show, don't remember what we did. But if we spend that evening in the shop, yeah, look what I made, right? All the difference in the world. Anyway, that crossed my mind the other night as I was in my shop doing what I call second shift, right? So I work the day, eat, clean up, then come back to the shop. So, well, my wife's out of town, still out of town in New Jersey. She's been out for 2.5 months now. I've lost like 10 pounds. I actually have lost 10 pounds. And that's a lot. I mean, that's getting towards 10% of my body weight, but we won't go into that. But my wife, bless you, I love you, sweetie. She got COVID while she's up there, getting over it, but was absolutely feeling terrible. We did in our household. I got the first shot. Um, she didn't get any, and we have dodged that bullet for 4 years now. Bless her heart, she got it, sweetie. I hope you're feeling better. So sorry about that. I guess I'm up. I think I'm like the only person I know that hasn't gotten it, right? Part of it is because I don't go outside. Right? Not by right there, not the plan, just happens to work out that way. But anyway, so I work during the day, I go upstairs, I eat, and then I come back to the shop. Now, on one point, honey, you'll be glad we've got great neighbors. I mean, I've always thought, in the back of my mind, we're in a subdivision, kind of a country subdivision. Each lot's an acre, 40, 50 houses, but we were out in the country. Now we're just in the burbs again. Um, but I've always wanted to get a house in the country with, a little land for Jill's horse and, just live out in the country. I love it. But done that before. But the thought crossed my mind that we've got such good neighbors. I almost am no longer thinking that. And that's so rare. Where I'm going with this, we're going to talk leather. I'm going to try to keep this more organized today. I can't even say that with a straight face, right? Yeah, we're going to keep this organized. The point is, and then we'll move to leather, is that on one side, lovely couple, and her brother lives with them. They brought me fajitas Sunday night. I mean, with all the fixins. Fixins I wouldn't even consider fixins, right? Monday night, our neighbor on the other side loved Tony to death. He made like a 2-gallon batch of beef stew. So he brought me a Tupperware that's like 4 meals. So, baby, I'm eating. I've just lost a lot of weight, but I'm eating okay. Right. Okay. So anyway, we got that out of the way, but good neighbors. It's so hard to find that. All right, but now we're going to talk about some leather, and we're going to do our best to stay on the subject of leather. Got some good stuff to look at. Got a good video coming out Friday. I hope y'all like this one. I hope it's a beautiful project, but I'm kind of trying to work in a little bit more of a different direction. Maybe that needs a little explanation. Okay, from the day I started Weaver, my job from the president, let's work with the new folks. Let's bring people into the craft. And I fell right into that because one of my biggest thoughts is if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I'm not kidding. So last time we talked, my original cutting board, surprised that I even thought about this, but there it is, my original cutting board. Found this in a dumpster, if you can believe that or not. And it just happened to work out because it had carpet on one side and a good plywood cutting surface on the other side. Yeah, you can tell how I originally started punching holes with a nail set, right? You've seen these, a nail sink. I think that's what it's called. That's how I was punching holes. The original cutting board. Okay, now as a side note, because like I said, Weaver brought me in to bring in the new folks. I think that's where I do my best. Well, most of my videos are kind of now, I don't really know how to explain this best. I love the tool and I love the tooling and it's beautiful. but I might tool 1 out of 10 projects, maybe 1 out of 20. So, my videos are almost aimed more at the folks at the rest of us, right? Yeah, right, Festivus for the rest of us kinda thing. Um, we've done some tooling, but I wanted I want videos for the rest of us. If you wanna do tooling, you wanna do absolutely, absolutely. Um, and look, I mean, Jim Linnell and Jurgen Volbach and Tony Bernier and Annie Liberty. Oh, so many directions you can graduate up if you wanna go with the tooling, but I almost feel like my videos are kinda more aimed at the rest of us, the newer folks, okay? Where I'm going with that is this. This literally, now, not exactly these, and I'll explain that. This is how I got started in leather. These were in my toolbox. We all have a revolving punch somewhere. It's just kind of a standard piece of hardware or a tool that we typically have in our house. But right there, that got us that we can get rolling on this. We need very little, very few skills and very few tools to get rolling. You're going to be surprised at what you can do with this alone. Now, I was kind of saving this for the for tips for the new folks. We've got a couple more there. We'll come back around to that. But one of the biggest points is we don't need a lot of skill and we don't need a lot of tools. We don't need electrical requirements and lighting and ventilation, and we don't need it. We can start with very few. In fact, that is why I, to this day, still use a box cutter, because that was the first thing I started cutting with. And that was simply because I had one in my toolbox at the time. Um, Another good point, and we'll talk now, we won't talk about this, but I do want to touch on this because a revolving punch, center of our leather shop, we'll use this on every project, every hole, right? Okay, so don't buy crap. Now I started with one of the craft store revolving punches. They're okay. They'll work for a little bit, but you'll see I'm going to come back around to this because with those, it was just like channel beam. It was a channel. Anyway, it was crap, right? Just bent metal was the handles, and the tubes were cheap. And it wasn't long before the handles started to bend inward. They ultimately met. I couldn't punch a hole. The tubes were cheap. The ammo, it was like 15 bucks. I don't know what it is. This is where I'm going with this. Go with a quality revolving punch right off the bat. This one is I had to write this down because there's a lot of words to this, but this is our heavy duty revolving head punch, right? We've seen it in a number of videos, drop forged. This is a serious, solid piece of equipment. Here's the great part. It's under 60 bucks. Now, 15 bucks, 60 bucks, a little bit of a difference there, but you can't go wrong if you spend the money on a quality revolving or rotary. Same thing, revolving punch, rotary head, rotary punch. It's the same thing. Spend the money on this. Replaceable tubes. That's one of the biggest points because with these, I've noticed over the years, I'm going to use like 3 tubes and the others, blah, blah. I might use them, I might not. Well, the point is that these tubes are going to wear out over time. Okay. With a cheap tool, the whole thing is shot, is absolutely useless. We have to throw it away and go buy another one. Okay. Now we spent 30 bucks plus the gas going to and from twice. So absolutely worth the 60 bucks. It's a little bit less than that, a little bit less, maybe a little bit more with shipping. But the replaceable tubes, because as I use these tubes, they wear out. Well, now I can replace the tubes with the sizes that I like the most. So I have 2 of my favorite, smaller, 2 medium, 2 larger. Anyway, that's one point for the new folks. Spend a little money on your revolving punch. You won't go wrong. You absolutely won't go, and it's worth every penny on that one. Okay, so we'll come back. We got another trick or tip for the new folks, something that as I'm working through the 2-week period between the lives, I'll just keep jotting stuff down on my script or on the last one so that I'll have things to talk about on the next one. I'd like 8 or 9 topics on this. So again, like I said, I'm going to try to keep us on leather, maybe, right? It's kind of like curling. You ever seen the sport of curling? You got to try to kind of ease with those brooms. Let's try to keep this in the right direction. But again, it's the nut behind the wheel is typically the problem, right? With mechanics, they always say it's the nut behind the wheel, right? That wheel. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to do my best to keep us organized today, but we got some good stuff to look at and some good stuff to talk about. So Y'all, I got to jump over here. Nan Parsons, first in my shop today. Nan, good to see your name pop up. Jerry, right behind her. Jerry, I hope you had a good birthday. And Shane, dude, hope you're doing all right. Got a chance to talk to Shane on the phone this week. And Shane, I know work's crazy now, but it will pass. It will pass. And maybe with a little luck, things will go back to normal for you. At least I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And it should, once everything gets past, and it's the bottleneck. We all have bottlenecks at work, right? And ah, these things happen. Um, I got a bin full of projects over there. I should name that the bottleneck, right? Bin, right? We talked the bin of shame, the wall of shame, right? We've talked about this, but we'll talk. There's a point there for our newer folks too. We'll come back to that. But anyway, Shane, glad you're here. Nan, same thing. Okay, so Nan got a couple of things on the bench right now, be done in a couple of days. That's the best time, right? You got something on your workbench. Those long days at work, you get to take a minute here and there and think about leather. And it kind of breaks up the day. Kind of breaks up the day a little bit, gives us something to look forward to. Nan, I hope they all come out beautifully, and I hope you have a great time with them. Um, Jerry King working on some holsters. I've seen Jerry's holsters. They're beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful. Jerry, good luck with those. And Lane, London is in the house, in the shop today. Glad to see your name pop up, Lane. Always good to see everybody's name pop up. Carrie, I know you're here. Oh, wait a minute. We got to back up. I am no one. All right. So I love it. Got it. Love it. So I saw the note last time because I wasn't sure how we pronounce that. Got it. So I am no one, and I love it. And I'm glad you're back with us so I can say that. So, um, now, I didn't go through all the comments from last week, and I'm sorry, but I went through like the last 400 of them, right? Because, right, the chat rate, it pops up the chat rate. I forget what it was. Let's see what it was last time. Because we got a couple of milestones going um, with subscribers on the Weaver channel. 300,000. We just passed 300,000. And I think in marketing, we're working on something to celebrate that. Now, I said that without the boss is okay. I'm working unsupervised here, right? Actually, I'm doing 24 hours a day of unsupervised. That's not good. That's a little bit dangerous. Anyway, so let's see if I can figure this out. Um, Chat rate last time it only says 2. I don't think that's right because usually it's like between 8 and 14. That one's weird. I don't know if that came through right. Anyway, the point is, if that is an average per minute over 60 minutes, 14, that's a lot, right? So I didn't get to go through all the comments from last time, but I did at least do like the last 15 or 20 and just, oh, I couldn't contain myself because y'all had me rolling on a lot of these. Like Glorfindel. Yeah, okay. Strive to skive. Oh man, I hate skiving. I can skive. I just don't like to. Right? The little hand skivers, they'll work for us. We can get a feathered edge with them if we work at it. It's just what a pain in the butt, like on a belt. Like if you want to skive the bin back, man, it is tough to get that consistent. There's a couple of things I can do with a skiver that I'm pretty good at. Like, one of them is like if it's okay, great tip. If we've got 8 to 9 ounce in our shop, Latigo is what works best for me on this one. Like, say I need a 5 to 6 or a 6 to 7 ounce strap, but I've only got like 9, 10, maybe 10, 11 Latigo. Well, cut your strap, typically thinner strap, half, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, somewhere in there. Well, if you get that skiver and you bite down into it, you can pretty much feel that you're keeping that level or parallel to your tabletop, and you can actually skive. It's like keepers. That's where I use this most often, is because I got a nice thick piece of leather for my belt. I don't have a keeper. And if we do an 8 to 9 ounce or 9 to 10 ounce keeper, that thing's going to be huge, right? So if we use a skiver to trim down, to skive down just a small strap, we can nail that out as often as we want. That's not bad. And maybe our welts. There's a gentleman out there that I've seen his holsters. Um, he does his welts fit the holster on the outside and the gun on the inside. And I mean, when I say fit, perfectly. So I think he starts with 4 welts, and then he works them down, skives them down, but then he also skives them down widthwise to work in the shape of the gun. The trigger guard, unbelievable. My holsters are not at that level, and I don't think I'm ever going to get there. But damn, right? Anyway, so the skiver, yeah, Glorfindel, thanks for bringing that up. We do. We've got a club, right? The I Don't Skive Club. We've got blazers and coffee cups and hats. We'll do a convention. I hate skiving. We'll all get a convention together and we'll just do a big panel of how many people that hate to skive. We'll do another panel of how many emergency room visits have come out of using a skiver. That'd be a good panel, right? Right? Okay. How about a third panel? How do we fix those wounds? Right? Oh, that's an easy panel. That'll be 5 minutes long. That'd be like take a little duct tape or electrical tape or painter's tape, little piece of paper towel, fold it twice, stick it on, and then just wrap it around your finger, keep moving. That typically works for me. I've probably had some I should have got a stitch or two in, but the old like some antiseptic and paper towel and tape, man, I mean, that's really cured some major ills in my shop. Oh, the scissors. Love them. We'll see them in this video because I keep them on my 303. They're the long reach scissors. Love them. I mean, I got the Gingers. Those will literally cut your finger off, bone and all. They're that freaking sharp. Anyway, with the long reach scissors, I took a chunk out of that finger. You can still see the scar on that. Somebody not paying attention. I'm just clipping threads, clip, chunk, ow. Well, you know what? I guess. I don't know. I can't remember which finger it was. So I guess my medical treatment actually worked because I don't see that scar now because I took a chunk. Anyway, let's stop talking about skiving. I'm cringing already. Let's move on. Let's see. I got all kinds of just miscellaneous notes here. That's why, like I said, I can't. We're just not gonna. I can't say keep it organized with a straight face. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry, we've met, right? Anyway, okay. So looking through last week's comments, at least the last 15, 20, maybe half an hour, mist in the mountain. All right, off the grid, but great project ideas. Lamb-lined moccasins. Oh, love it. And lamb-lined gloves. Oh, I would love to see both of those. Great, useful projects. Absolutely. All right, so KCG, requesting a video. Yeah, who types this? Yeah. Anyway, so requesting a video on different stitching types, on different types of stitches. And I apologize. This has been on my mind for 8 years. I wasn't going to say a bad word there. Almost. Not really, sort of close. But one reason I haven't is because most of them come out a saddle stitch, right? Like a box stitch or edge stitch. Basically, they come out to the saddle stitch, except like maybe a baseball stitch, butted stitch, things like that, which I don't use. This is funny because sometime back, somebody emailed in, and this is like one of those old school crotchety crafters, right? Yeah, we know them. Anyway, emailed in, I want to use a baseball stitch to butt two edges together. Is that going to work? And I emailed back, it's not one of my favorites. Now, if it's on a surface, like a baseball or a walking stick or whatever examples I gave out, it's great. It'll work, but without backing, it's just not going to work. Got back a terse email. Well, I'm not putting it on a baseball or a walking stick. Will it work? Jeez. Okay. I was polite. I always try to be polite. So I just said, look, what's going to happen if we butt two pieces, like let's say 8 to 9s. All right. We're doing whatever, pouch, or when we butt two together and we do a baseball stitch, there's no backing, top or bottom. So what's going to happen is over time, the thread's going to stretch, the holes are going to stretch, the leather's going to stretch, the edges are going to bump up against each other. So what's going to happen in no time at all, you're going to have this crappy looking seam where the leather's sometime over, sometimes under. sometimes moving around. Anyway, so back to the original thought. Yes, we need to do that, but man, I just need to find some creative types of stitches. Oh, I did see one. I even asked one of the top names out there. Um, I saw it on some post or something. It was a basket weave stitch, and it was really nicely done. I don't know how many years ago this was. I wish I'd saved the pic or wrote it down. Anyway, it was like maybe five pieces of thread. But what they had done, if I remember, and I can't, it was offset, and it was beautiful. It was a basket weave stitch line, and it was beautiful. I don't know how they did it. I've tried and tried to recreate that, and I've just had no luck with it. Don't know how if they offset chisel holes, which to me wouldn't make sense because you're perforating the edge of that leather, and it's not really going to be a good stitch line, right? Um, I just don't know how they did that. Now, I've got another one that I don't know what it's called, but I saw it. A friend of my parents had a mule collar, right? Which he plowed when growing up in southern Alabama. He helped his grandpa plow fields with this collar, right? So he gave it to me and said, "Hey, can you clean it up?" It had mold and dust, and it was pretty rough. He said, my dad said, "Hey, can you fix this for him?" I'm like, "Yeah, love to." It had a cool stitch. I can't figure out what it's called. And I think I figured out how to do it, but it's like a loop goes back, circles around the previous stitch, comes through, goes back, circles around. It's like you can do a double stitch line with only one piece of thread in one pass. And actually, in my hand sewing class, that's the last thing we do. I give a sample of it to everybody, see if you can figure out how this is done. And I think I know how, right? The teacher ought to know that, if I'm giving it up. Anyway, I just need to find out what that's called, and I've got to talk to some old school harness and tack maker to figure out what that's called. But over the years, I've tried to come up with some really good, unique stitch lines um, that are not just the same old crap we see every day all the time. Just come up with something good. And of course, we'll do the baseball stitch because that's basically an over and under. And we'll do saddlers. Saddlers is the only one I use because it's so easy to make it look really good, right? With our chisel and a groove line, it's perfect. And we have such great control with our chisels that I don't really feel like I have like with our cub. I can sew on our cub. We got a video coming up with a cub in it. Um, I don't feel like I have the control with the cub that I do with the chisels, right? We know where every hole is going to land. We can measure it out. We can mark it. We can expand. We can contract, right? Anyway, um, so I'm on that and it's coming together. I'll just do my best to see because I don't want to just do a leather element with one stitch line. Gee, old 90 seconds long. The intro and outro are longer than the content. I promise I'm not going to do that to y'all. I promise. So that's actually it's somewhat in the works. But here's another problem. Okay. Getting the live together today. I kind of work on this. If I'm shooting a video, I'll shoot for an hour or two, but then I got to jump on the live and just get the script together, get everything. It takes a little while to do that. Where I'm going with this is that I think I came up with 4 new project ideas just doing this, just getting this together. So it's more of an overabundance of possibilities, as opposed to not having 5 good types of stitches, right? I think that's probably more the problem here. So, but in the works, got more coming because one, and how could I not? There's so many things that just, psh, really? I've been looking at this thing for 10 years. How is it that it's just now dawning on me to make a video? Really? Anyway, okay. So I'm working on some more period um products for us Ren Fair people, for us costuming people. Got one coming up after the one I'm working on now, which is another one that I should have done years ago. So anyway, if we got any first responders in the house, this one's going to hit you on the nose. This would be a great project for those folks. Or if you are, yeah, make your own. Okay. So we've done the wet form scabbard, which is so easy to do, right? If you've tried the wet form scabbard, then we've done a side sewn, which I love. In fact, we can see one of them over there. Yeah, for the bastard sword. There we go. Yeah, right. It matches my armor, the black and turquoise. But this has been my favorite sword forever. This was actually made for me. I used to have a customer when I had a small business out east of Atlanta. I had, geez, if they had a 100-page catalog, I think I had a product on 60 of those pages because I made scabbards and armor and arm guards and war belt. Anyway, they used to produce all their swords in their shop, Dell 10 blades. Man, so everything was made in their shop. So they made this for me. Let's see if we can get all that in there. Three-handed, that's my style. I love the three-handed, more of a three-handed Eastern style. Love it. Weighted tip, got a back edge and then a forward edge. Now, it's not terribly sharp because, well, again, we've met, right? Here's the cool. Okay, anyway, let me back up. So we've done a scabbard straight blade. Well, we need to do a scabbard for a curved blade, a saber or a boarding cutlass, right? Got to do one there. Just looked at this morning, thought, why have we not done that? Anyway, so the coolest point here, and for those knife makers, folks that are familiar with the blades, let's see if I can get this off. Okay, so the pommel screws off. There we go. Good weighted pommel and a leather wrapped handle. I wrapped that leather handle, oh, got to be 20 plus years ago. Still going. This has been to just about every. Now, I've never been to battle with it. Okay, so, right. But look at that tang. Right down. Oh, look at that tang. Now, that is a tang that's not going to break. And we've always heard, when you break a sword, and first thing that comes to mind in the old battles, they break a sword and break it. No, if the sword's going to break, it's right there. That transition from tang to blade, that's where your sword's going to break. That one ain't going anywhere, is it? So anyway, cool blade. So we're going to do a video on this one. Let me put it mostly back together before I lose all the pieces and parts. That is something I excel at. So anyway, that was just one that came across my mind. There's another one. There we go. I know I should screw with this later and not on the live, right? I'll tighten that down. But anyway, carefully lay that one down. Yeah. My wife's got a horse. And she has trimmed his mane and his tail on regular occasions. This is his horsehair. I'm dying to make a project for my wife using horsehair from her horse. And we can do the braids, blah, blah, put it on a. I'm looking for something really creative with this. And I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But, oh, there's so many more. Oh, there's so many more. I had to actually start writing. I'm not going to go in anymore right now. We'll make videos of them and we'll get them on their way out there. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Okay, so anyway, back to KCG requesting a video. I'm on it mostly. Kind of a back burner thing, but we're on it because I know that's one that needs to get out there. Help us all out with some different types of stitches. Let's see. Okay, but then Billy comes in a little bit later with, I've got to learn butt stitching. I have a hole in mine. I mean, okay. I had to laugh through the entire time I was looking at these comments. Excuse me. Make sure we come back up. Yeah. So thank you, Billy, and Carrie too, y'all. Thanks for keeping a smile on this. We got the best craft going. Let's enjoy every minute of it. Let's laugh and have a good time with it. Okay, just stuck. Again, another one. Let's see. New at the Leathercraft, made some arm guards, and evidently they came out nicely. And I'm so glad you are enjoying the craft. Hallelujah. Your first project comes out nice. Oh, it's on. It is on, right? Yeah. So let's see. Oh, so I did bring up my syndrome, dumbass attack syndrome last time, and evidently, and thank you, I'm not the only one that suffers from this. So Tom Leary, Chris Gould, y'all, thanks for chiming in. Makes me feel a little bit better because I have these attacks every they make me so crazy. Every freaking day, I have a dumbass attack, at least one. The other night, I was like, oh, I ate some dinner, I cleaned up, watched a little TV, played some Candy Crush, or I should say, not Crush. So I went to the shop, like, all right, I'm going to get into a project. I pulled something up just for me, make something just for me. Put my pattern down, measured it out, drew it in, cut it completely wrong. Really? I cut it 2 inches short on one end. What line am I looking at? The lines are drawn on the leather, and I cut it 2 inches short widthwise. Really? So, okay. All right. DA attack, right? DA attack. So I was like, I can't believe I did that. Does anybody just literally stand there and chastise yourself for making a stupid mistake like that? Just, not physical, but right. There's some pretty harsh words coming back at me. So I'm like, walk away, walk away, walk away from it. So I went over, I'm like, oh, you know what? This holster needs a snap on it. Making a holster for a friend needs a snap on it. So I walk over, put the damn snap on backwards. Oh, I was fit to be tied, just fit to be. I can clip it out. I can drill it out. I can reset one in 18 seconds, right? No, more chastising. Yeah, oh, okay. I'm not going to follow this advice, but you should. Step away, right? Maybe go, I don't know, get something to drink, get a cup of coffee, step outside for a few minutes, whatever, and then come back, start again. Let's start from scratch. But I know what, this time, let's pay attention. What a novel idea, right? So I don't know if that's helpful. Is it? Or it's just me, right? Ranting. Oh, here's one, right? Okay, because this is funny. All right, so on my tripod, I got a nice tripod, fluid head tripod. Well, it's got 2 bars and then 2 smaller and then 1. That's for adjusting the height of it, right? Okay, so 2 bars. That's all we need to know. So I'm holding my tripod, I'm turning my camera, getting the best shot. Oh, I need to go over there and grab this tool. I forgot to pull my hand out of the tripod. Really? It's connected. It's connected. Man, I bent that finger hard left. Oh my god. And now you can see. Okay, but the point is, right? Anyway, okay, so paying attention seems to be a bit of a stretch for me. Is anybody else right? Okay, not alone here. Enough about me. This ain't about me. This is about us and the leather craft. All right. So anyway, y'all, thanks for chiming in. It does make me feel a little bit better that I'm not the only one with this particular affliction. Okay. Night for today chimed in. Solstice with hair on, made something for a friend. Solstice leather. Oh, and I got another point on this too. With hair on gussets. Night for today, Joshua. I bet that came out beautifully. Absolutely. All right, so let's see. I think that's most of. Oh, okay. Just 2 more because like I said, I just couldn't stop laughing. James W. Because we did the solstice last time as the giveaway and the product of the week. I like the solstice so much, I named my dog Solstice and the neighbor's dog Solstice too. that, yeah. Okay. Here's one. This is what I was just talking about. We're going to talk some more about this. Bandit blades. Okay. Good question. Not sure how the solstice works with the foil stamp. I can help out on that. It's not great. It's not great. I tried that for the video because on that project, it would have been nice to put in, like on those coasters, on the coasters, holsters, coasters. It's a new product, right? It's a holster that you can put a drink on. New product idea. I mean, just out of nowhere. Anyway, I was thinking, like put our name on it on each of the right? See, this has got to catch up, right? Yeah, something detached. I don't. We'll go. Oh, we'll get to this. Anyway, so I thought that would be a cool idea for the coasters, the drink coasters. Doesn't necessarily work well on the solstice, and I think it's simply because of the top coat. I've got just a little test piece here. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. So then I tried the heat stamp. Let's see, I tried the heat stamp because with the foil stamp, 120 degrees is your foil stamp. I think it's 240 degrees for the heat stamp. No foil heat stamp. And it's okay. Again, probably not the best leather to use for our foil stamping, but that's another project idea I've got written down there. If I can squeeze it in, because I got project ideas through May, right? What leathers work best and what leathers don't work with our foil stamp. Now, for a lot of us crafters, the foil stamp, that's probably a piece of equipment we're not going to buy. I would argue that point because it is such a cool detail to be able to put somebody's initials on a card wallet or inside of a journal cover to put their initials there, or maybe a cool little saying on a cuff. There's so many things we can do with that. And I really need to explore that more often. And I typically don't, mainly with the thought that probably 95% of us crafters don't have the foil stamp in our shop and most likely aren't thinking about getting one. You'd be surprised at how much you can do with this machine and how easy it is to operate, how easy it is to set up the letters and the little deal, that thing that does that goes in, that thing. Yeah. I can't remember what you call it. Crap. Anyway, that thing that holds the letters, it's easy to set that up. Jeez. Anyway, worth every penny for us crafters because we can do so much with it. Anyway, the point there, Bandit blades, it's probably not something, it's not a leather that we want to use for foil. Now, you can mess around with it, absolutely, and see, maybe I need a little less heat. I think that the top coat is defeating the adhesive on the foil. I think that's maybe what's going on. So maybe a lighter temp. I haven't played with it enough, but the point is I love the Solstice and it's an absolutely beautiful leather. May not be able to go that route with it, but that's okay. There's a few leathers that don't burn well. And I'm trying to think of which ones. Mainly it's because a top coat burns instead of melts. I think that's part of it. Or like a Latigo, if it's got a heavy wax content, it may defeat the adhesive on the foil. I don't know that just yet. I haven't used it enough to really, and I'm telling y'all to buy one when I say I haven't used it enough to really. Actually, I've used that thing a lot, but I haven't experimented with it, right? Kind of outside the box thing. So anyway, answering that question, probably not the best leather for the foil stamp, but experiment with it. Who knows? It may be the perfect leather with a little bit lower temp. Who knows? Anyway, so Bandit blades, nonetheless, thanks for putting that question out there. All right, so I've just been yapping. Just freaking yapping. We only do these every other week, and that's partly my fault because when we do these every week, it takes a day out of my week, and if I'm shooting project videos, those take a long time because it's usually like 4 or 5 days because I got to design it, right? We've talked about it, blah, blah. Anyway, so I tend to not get ahead. And right now I'm just shooting for next Friday, which I don't like doing. I'd like to have 2 or 3 in the hopper because then I relax instead of that back of my head, keep shooting. And I missed, anyway. So, we've got some good videos coming up, but I'm going to get some shorter ones in here and we'll see if that helps. Okay, so let's get back over here because I'm missing all these. I'm so far behind on this. Y'all, I'm sorry we're not doing a giveaway this week. All right, on that subject. All right, we'll do a giveaway next time. And we'll do some from Weaver. But maybe after that, in between the next 3, we have one there where we're and this thought came to me this morning, and I didn't really have time to put it together, but the point is, I've got I've got so much stuff in this shop. I mean, it's just okay, I think we have 20,000 products at Weaver. I'm really doing my best to get as many in a video as I can, but it's just that would be an ugly project, right? That got 35 different pieces of hardware on this project. I'm not sure where the project is, but look at all the hardware, right? So I'm trying to work these in. The problem is that there's so many. I'm inundated. I'm inundated. So when I see new stuff pop up, I'll order 3 or 4 of each, depending on like if it's D's or O's or something like that. I'll get, maybe 6. Um, I've got hardware coming out of my ears. I do, and liquids. So anyway, I'm kicking around the idea of maybe not next time, but the one after that, do like a hardware care package, just from me, just for me. I'll ship it. I'll take care of it. Not all on me. I've got so many clips and buckles and D's and O's and squares and tips and rivets and screws and so anyway, I was just kicking around the idea, and y'all let me know if it's a good idea or not. Just give away a good sized box of a hardware care package. All kinds of conchos. I got conchos coming out of my ears. Uh, Maybe toss in a nice buckle set, maybe a 1 inch and a 1.5 inch. I'll make it worthwhile. I absolutely will. But if that sounds good, then maybe we can do that um time after next when we don't do a giveaway. So anyway, uh oh, Brian Hudson. Brian, I know I'm getting back over here. Brian, I'm glad you're with us. Glad you're in the shop with us today. Um, I'm a huge fan of the locks connectors. Anyone else? Oh, those are great. Yes, I need to get those back in a video on a project. Um, we've got one in a project, and I think it's a pouch. I've done like 400 videos. I'm starting to forget what I've done. Um, but what it is you've got a male and a female, but it's got a little when somebody first sees this, they can't figure out how to open it. You simply lift the head on it, I guess. I don't know. I'll look into the terms on this thing, but you just lift it and they're cool. And we got them in a bunch of finishes. I know we've got black, nickel, polished nickel, and I'm pretty sure we've got antique nickel and antique brass. We might have antique copper. I tell you, I think our antique copper, everything is absolute. That to me is I use the antique nickel almost everything because that to me is a perfect combination with any color, with any color. But I tell you what, that antique copper is the rivets, the closures, the D's, the O's, the buckles, like on our water buffalo, the crazy horse. Damn, that is a pretty combination. Um, Crap, I've got a belt over there on the set. Let's see if you're looking at me, it's on this side. There's a belt with the antique copper roller buckle and antique copper feather conchos. I love those. I think those are one of my favorite conchos. That is an absolutely stunning belt. It is beautiful. And get so many compliments on that. But the locks, circling back to the locks, because I got off and went off into the woods and trying to come back. Love the locks fasteners. Those are absolutely beautiful. Super easy to add and they look good. Uh, Okay, Crystal Hennington, Crystal, and Bridget. God, I see your names pop by, but I want to make sure I say hello. Um, oh, Brian Hudson, Antique Copper. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Didn't that just a beautiful, beautiful finish? Um, oh, Chris Gould, 2 degrees in Norfolk, UK. I'm hoping that's not Fahrenheit. I We go by the Fahrenheit here, not the Celsius. I'll have to do the conversion because I don't right off the bat know what it is. I'm just now coming up to the metric conversions, and the only reason I'm coming up to speed on those is because we use them on the patterns. Our common, when we write in our measurements on the digital pics, I want to make sure I include both the what's it called? I forget the English system or our system, and then metric. What is that called? It's like Monarch or something like that. Wow, you can tell it makes, it's really important to me to be able to name the math system I use. or make a mockery of is more like it. Anyway, um, I'll come up to speed on that. Vanessa Kitty, 2C here as well. I got to do that. I got to figure that out. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, another problem. God, we're just 3:45. How does this go by so fast? I had a new laptop and I said me, me, me. And I'm trying not to. The point is, I got a new laptop. Things are squirrely right now. Everything goes south when you go to a new laptop, right? Anyway, I was supposed to say that up front in case we went south here. We're still okay. As far as I can tell, we're still okay. Anyway, my software didn't transfer. Crap. I can't get, crap. I'll get it fine tuned. I'm on my old one for the live. The new one, my old one got glitches, right? It's an old laptop. And our IT guy, love him. He's great, very dry sense of humor, which I love. Monty Python level humor, right? Oh, I've been watching all the Python lately on Netflix. Anyway, um, he gave this to me last May when I was up there for the grand opening. And we're also talking about maybe doing something for the 1-year anniversary of the grand opening. And if so, I'll be there talking with the boss about that tomorrow. I probably shouldn't have said that either because it's not official. They'll learn what to tell me and what not to tell me. After 9 years, I don't know if they're going to learn that. So don't tell Chuck that. He'll tell everybody and it'll go out in 3. I think we're okay on that one. We haven't set any plans, but if we do, I'll be there. I'll go up to the mothership. Finally, everybody I know up there, I'm not gonna recognize them because everybody's a year older, and I am too. Anyway, so crap, I forgot where I was going with that. I'm doing my best not to do that. Crap. Anyway, because my wife says, man, I hate it when you do that on the lives. And I understand that. I could back up and watch. Anyway, okay. Next week. How about that? Or next time. We'll come back around to that. Let's see. Patricia Cleghorn is with us. Okay, let's see. Chuck, I didn't think about getting one, but got a great deal on a used one. Really makes it to the next, really takes it to the next level. I think you're talking about the foil stamper. I have to adjust, yeah, heat and for every item and make heat chart sample. Oh, Patricia, that's a good, I never thought about doing that. Just do a heat chart. Damn good idea. That's a very good idea. I'm glad you brought that up. That'll help me. That'll help me maybe when we do a video. So, Patricia, thank you for that very much so. Billy Blaze, have you ever made calfskin drum heads? No, I have not. But that's the one and only place that I can see ever using a piece of rawhide. I'd rather hit myself in the head with my mallet, which I've done by accident. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Anyway, I'm a drummer. I've been a drummer since 9. I've got a beautiful set over there. Neil Peart level set. Not quality. No, quantity. No, I don't have Neil Peart level quality, but quantity. Yes. I mean, because that's when I came up was Neil Peart. Oh, the big sets. Manu Katché. Oh, come on. Not me, let's talk leather and less me. Anyway, I have though, and again, that start with a freaking sentence with an I. But it's a good point. I had a drummer friend that wanted to cover his set in hair on hide, and we did it. And it looked good. I've always wanted to cover my drums with hair on. And it looked good. It takes about 3 hair-ons. So it's not inexpensive to do that. But and the other one, I've always wanted to cover my set in veg tan. Do some Celtic knot tooling between the logs. Damn, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. Again, I have a lot of drums, and it would be a lot of veg tan. 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 16, 16 bass, and I got a 12 lug piccolo snare. Sorry, y'all, to go into all that. Double rock bass pedal, Sabians all the way around. I got Sabians from 8 to 24. 9 cymbals, from crash to splash, right? Yeah. And ride. Oh, I got a 24 ride. It's beautiful. Anyway, anyway, no, I haven't, Billy. No, I haven't. But it would be very cool. I would love to try some drum heads out of rawhide. Why have I not done that? Probably because I can buy oil heads. Still, they're so less drum, less chuck, more leather. That's what we need at 350, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. 2 points that I really want to make. I really want to make here. All right, for the new folks, Um, I've got a viewer, kind of a friend, associate that does some tooling. Um, been talking to her, him, not gonna say. They started doing some tooling a couple of years back, and their tooling's rough. Now, I'm not, you'll see where I'm going with this. There's a reason for this, and it's not them. All right, they doing all the right moves, all the right tools. They're doing everything right, but their tooling is rough. It's jittery. And you probably know what I'm talking about. Like with a swivel knife cut, it's not a smooth cut. It's kind of ragged. And the bevels are not consistent. And the background is not clean and consistent. And the curves are rough. The corners are rough. They're they're paying the dues, learning tooling. Here's the problem. The leather. It's not their skills. The leather is the problem. Now, it's not a bad leather. Here's where I'm. All right, so we've got a video. I did a video on the difference between a less expensive and a top end piece of leather. And it's just day and night difference between the two. So, for the new folks, if you're doing a little tooling or you're doing a little stamping and you're getting frustrated because you're doing it right, you know you're doing it right, you got the right tool, but it looks like crap, change your leather. Change your leather because okay, I had these two samples. All right, we did that. I don't know how well we can see that, but this is one of the two pieces I used in the video. So I tooled this. This is the, I think that's the Herman Oak. It's either the Shaheen or the Herman Oak, both top end, equal level of quality in the tannage. Well, the other one, it just looked terrible because my lines weren't crisp. My background was not great. It just overall appearance, total night and day difference. Okay. The leather is the problem. All right. Here's where I'm going with this. You don't have to buy a side of Herman Oak or Shaheen. We sell both, love them, because that's a bunch of money. That's almost a car payment for us crafters, and we're not in it for the profit. Okay. We have panels of the Herman Oak and the Sheen. It until recently was the Weaver Select. Now it's the Shaheen leather. Same thing. We sell panels of this. So if you're new at it, you want to do the tooling, you're struggling, don't beat yourself up. You're doing it right. Your choice is the leather. You may be working on a single shoulder. I love our single shoulders. Absolutely. But they're not the best for tooling and stamping. So here's what I suggest. If you're struggling with it, before you give up, get irritated, frustrated, walk away, buy a 1 square foot. I think we've got them in the 12 by 12. Should have checked on that. But get a 12 by 12 of the Herman Oak or the Sheen, and what's going to happen is you're going to see your work now, and it's going to look a world of difference. You're going to be surprised at what you are able to do after looking at the cheaper leather, because this leather almost tools itself. When you cut through, the first thing you're going to, now case your leather, do it right, pull out all the stops, case your leather. But when you take that tool, I got to keep, because take that tool, and the first thing you're going to do is cut your swivel. You're going to be amazed. That swivel is going to move like through that leather like it's butter. That is just going to separate so beautifully. You're going to be surprised. Where I'm going with this, total through all of this, the outcome is that your work is going to look better, even though you have not increased your skill level, simply because you have changed the material you're working on. You'll trust me on this one. Now, those two leathers, a panel, so they're not terribly expensive, but it's going to be a lot more than we pay for, like, it's probably going to be an equal to 7 square feet of single shoulder for maybe 2 square feet of the Shaheen or Herman Oak. Do it. You will be on your way. all your problems will be solved. I'm not kidding. Trust me on this one. Absolutely. All right. So I wanted to get that out for the new folks because it's all the difference in the world. Don't get frustrated. Don't throw it, set it down and walk away because you feel like you're never going to get it. You're already there. It's just the material that you're working with. Okay. I wanted to get that out. Major point. Major point. Okay. Second one, product of the week. Oh, we still got notes from the boss. Crap. So I'm keeping this organized, right? All right. So anyway, we got to do this because the project video coming out this Friday uses hair on. I'm going to start using more hair on. Look at this. Oh, I love it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me turn it around. Yeah. Look at this hair on hide. I love these. Supple. It's beautiful. So we got a project coming out this Friday where we're using this. I'm going to start using a little more hair on. Going to start working a little more in the chromes, a little more on the machine, sewing machine. Product of the week. Now we've got this black and white, brown and white, exotic, and Brendel. We've got all four of them, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, these are a little over 200 bucks. Again, it's a little higher ticket item for us crafters. Here's the saving grace. We most likely are not going to use this whole thing on one project. We can. Yeah. The point there is that most likely we're going to be using smaller pieces of this because we're going to use it for like purse panels or gussets or maybe little insets on, say, a wallet. Now we're down to this big. Okay, the point is that this is going to go a long way in our shop when we spend the money on a hair on. So worth it. And they're easy to work with. Now, in the video, I don't like sewing hair on. All right. The best trick here is to lay something over this because when we cut this, one end is going to have hair sticking out. The other end is going to be bald. Yeah. Doesn't look great and it doesn't sew well. Because what's going to happen is hair, when we lay a stitch line, first off, hair is going to get pushed through with a needle. Even if we're hand sewing, hair is going to go through and it's ugly. It's a pain in the butt. But also, the hair is going to get stuck under that stitch line. Some will, some won't. It's going to look like crap. Let's just do this. Let's just put a little overlay on that, maybe even just a little thin border around it. All the difference in the world. Absolutely. Love working with a hair on. So, product of the week, our hair on, worth every penny. Absolutely is, because we can make this go a long way. Okay. All right, one more point on that. For everybody, if you haven't worked with hair on, what we've got is called a patch. It is a part of life. This is a tannery issue. Those guys are good at what they do. They are good at what they do, but from time to time, a knife can slip in the process or a piece of equipment, who knows. Well, on this side, we're never going to see that patch. On this side, we will. It's glued in. It's not going to be as strong as the balance. So let's be careful. Let's work around these patches. But now there's the if we're going to line this, no issue at all. If we're going to glue this onto another piece of leather, maybe give it a little body, it's not an issue. But the point is, from time to time, we're going to see a patch. It's simply a part of life. We're going to go long, but just a minute, y'all. I'm sorry. If you by chance get one with a brand on it, that's like gold. Because if we use that on a project, that is a one of a kind, unique. Another type, that's one of a kind. I know I don't know where I'm going with all these words. They're just falling out at this point. But if you get a brand, funny thing, my cousin works for one of the big retailers. They sell hair on hides, like twice what we sell them for. Customers return these because they have a brand on them. Yeah, I want a brand. I'm looking for a brand. But yeah, she says they get those back all the time because they got a brand somewhere on them. Absolutely a one of a kind, unique. Okay. All right. Enough of the hair on. Notes from the boss. Okay, notes from the boss. Let's do that, and then we'll knock off. I've had too much coffee today. So, Carrie, really impressed with your discipline. And y'all, if I haven't got a chance to say hello to you, please forgive me. I've just been rolling today. Bob Haney is with us. Oh, Uncle, Mommy, Bobby, Susie. Good to see your name pop up. Billy Blaze, always with us. I am no one. Thank you for coming back. I hope it's worth your time. Everybody, I hope it's worth your time. JR Time, Michael Ayton, y'all, bless you for being here. I hope it's worth your time, even with me just a yapping. I hope you can render something useful from this hour we've spent together. All right, but right here, all right, this is the last day. Right now, we've got a deal going where you get double punch points for your purchases. Today's the last day on that. Also, we're going to be at Prescott. This is February 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I'm not going to be at Prescott this year. We had a bit of something going on. These did get planned as soon as we would typically like to plan them. Taken care of. We'll be there. Also, now I'll be at Sheridan. That's typically the third week in May. Somewhere around the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd. I haven't looked at a calendar this year, but I'll be at Preston. I'll be at Sheridan this year, and I'll be doing 2 classes, hand sewing. And those classes, I was surprised. Those are 3 hours of constant information. I was surprised how much information goes into hand sewing. I love it. Anyway, teaching 2 classes at Sheridan this year. I don't know how soon they'll be signing that up because I think they'll get past Prescott before they start signing up there, but don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. Anyway, in fact, next time I'll have more information on that. I'll have more information on that. We'll really give them a good shout out because they're great people. Okay. I think we've got everything that was on my script, believe that or not. And we're only 2 minutes over. How about that? All right. Y'all, for everybody, y'all, Jay Fusario, Terry Hatton, Taylor Miller, Tammy Ramatko. Y'all, please excuse me for not saying hello. And anybody else that is new, please come in. Please join us. You are most welcome. And I tell you what, you're among some great people here. You really are. I mean, just look at the comments. That'll give you an idea of folks here. So, y'all, it's a pleasure to spend this time with you. I'm sorry today got off the track. I really wanted to keep it organized today. Crap. Anyway, so y'all, we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll do my best. Let's come up. Well, no, next time we're going to do a Weaver giveaway. I'll come up with something good. I'll see what we can come up with. I'll see what the boss will let me get away with, right? So, all right, y'all. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Again, I hope this is worth your time. I hope it's interesting and fun and a little funny. But I tell you what, it's the pinnacle of my week to spend this time with y'all. I wish we could do this in person. Some drinks, just a big get together and visit time. That's a wish that I don't know if it's going to come true, but it's certainly one of my biggest. Y'all, been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll do my best to have some fun stuff to look at and some good stuff to talk about. But y'all, thank you for every bit of this. Thank you for making it what it is. All right. So love y'all more than you know. God bless. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I hope you have a good evening, second half of your week, and I hope you have a great weekend. Also, hope you have something great on your table. All right. So love y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.